کاوش مدیا.
Iran's been extending its reach outside the Gulf as well. So I think Farzin will talk more about the capabilities, but they've been certainly extending the range on their short-range ballistic missiles, the accuracy. So now they can be used for military targeting. Their UAVs they've been improving the range on those. We've seen with the attacks by the Houthis on Saudi infrastructure and by the Iranians on Saudi infrastructure. So Iran has been pushing the envelope further and further away from the Gulf. This brings me to another point actually about Iran's, I'll wrap up because I think I got to make this pretty quick. It brings me another point about Iran's strategy, which is if I had to sum up their maritime strategy in one phrase, it would be make do with less. The Iranians have been very good about investing in capabilities that play to their strengths and are designed to target U.S. and partner and coalition weaknesses. So, for instance, and a lot of the things they do are very low cost too. So they've invested in mines. Counter-mine warfare is something that most navies don't do well. We try to do the best we can with it, but it's a very difficult task, and it requires a lot of investment to do mine countermeasures. But mines are relatively cheap in comparison, and the Iranians have invested, according to a public O&I assessment, they have thousands of mines in their inventory at this point. The Iranians have been investing in coastal defense cruise missiles. They've been investing in small to medium-sized submarines. They've been building their own submarines, by the way, so they have a big emphasis on self-sufficiency.
And as you've heard, the Iranians have done a pretty impressive job, despite the fact that they've been under some pretty harsh sanctions, really since the beginning of the regime. They've been able to build both conventional and asymmetric capability that allows them to carry out their strategy and do so relatively effectively. So it's an impressive effort that should not be lost on us. So my task this morning is to discuss how Iran has put that strategy into action. What does it really mean on the waterfront? And what activities have they undertaken so that they can influence the maritime domain? And given the strategic importance of the region, which we've already talked about, the consequences of their maritime activity not only affect the region, but they have consequences that impact the entire global economy. So, as we heard from the previous speakers, Iran has developed some pretty unique conventional and asymmetric capabilities in order to advance their strategic objectives. They've developed or purchased ballistic missiles that are capable of ranging as far as Eastern Europe, and they're becoming increasingly more precise in their guidance. They have land and sea-based surface-to-surface missiles. They have mines of many types, as we heard, submarines, possibly equipped now with anti-ship missiles, hundreds, if not thousands, of coastal defense cruise missiles, tactical aircraft. Amazing to note that they continue to fly F-4s, F-5s, F-14s, airplanes that have long fallen out of inventories everywhere around the world except Iran. They have air defense radars. They just got the S-300 air defense system and missiles. They have fast attack craft, fast inshore attack craft by the hundreds. The development of drones over the last 5 years has been truly impressive because it's and we saw this in the attack on Abqaiq. They can be used for command and control, they can be used for over-the-horizon targeting, and they can be used for bomb hit assessment. So the drone program is indigenous, it's impressive, and it gives them capabilities that they have lacked.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند